Okay, I've been pretty much blitzed by a cold this week, so I'm really catching up. But there is a new document that Patrick came out with. I think it was yesterday. Let me get it up. A signature. Yeah, he did it yesterday. Signature and authorization document, Rev 2. And what he's doing, he's breaking away his 56F, his authorization to be able to act on this account. He's entering that as a separate one-time document to basically set the stage for the other transactions he's going to enter in.
Okay, I'm on the line, Tom.
Yeah, Patrick.
I'll take it from here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this document, this signature and authorization document, is a follow-up after you get your two notices of cause of action recorded into the county records, into the recorder's office. And you should get them recorded into the miscellaneous records. And then you get certified copies of those afterwards. You'll get the original back, and you can get a certified copy. Now, there's going to be a filing fee when you put those in, okay? And then there'll be a fee for when you get the certified copies. Now, when you get the certified copies, they should be under a county recorder's stamp, embossment stamp, okay? Then is what you have to do is you have to take one of these certified copies of each one of them, plus a Form 56F over your Social Security Estate EIN person using your individual banker's EIN. Okay? And your private bank is not going to be the fiduciary over that estate property. Then you put these into the clerk of the court. You put one into your local clerk of the court. You carry one with you, okay? And then basically you also put one into the bankruptcy clerk of the court, and you put one into the federal clerk of the court at the federal courthouse. You need to have these on file. These are nothing more than basically going into your commercial bank, and if you don't have a signature card on file at that commercial bank, you cannot write a check on your account. You can have the account, you can have money in the account, but basically you're not going to be able to write a check unless you have a signature card on file. And that's what this is all about. You've got to have your signature and authorization card on file. This is all about the matrix that we're operating out here in. Okay? They set up this secondary banking monetary matrix, just like in the movie, The Matrix. You've got to have your 3 EINs, and they're all 9-digit numbers. Then you'll be acting like Neil, and you'll be able to ward off the suits, the bar members. You now have power over them. And basically, what did Neil wear in the movie Matrix? The one thing that everybody out here in this whole damn Patriot community has been bad-mouthing. Is there anybody that has a guess?
I don't remember.
A suit.
The Jesuits.
A Jesuit outfit, robe. Okay, the good guys, not the bad guys. Jesuit Neil was a good guy, wasn't he?
Yep.
Why the hell is he wearing a Jesuit robe if he's a bad guy? Because he's not.
And Claude.
And then Mr. Smith was in all the suits. And basically that's what all these attorneys and everything run around with is suits. And they're just brokers. Brokers wear suits too. That's why I would never go become a broker, because I hated wearing suits. I know a little more about a lot of this because I did take commodity broker's test and basically pass it. So I know about brokers. I've dealt with brokers quite a bit. And brokers are out there operating for profit, for their own gains. They don't care whether you win or lose. They just want their commissions. They make you feel like they're your best buddy, but they'll stab you in the back in a heartbeat, just like any lawyer will. Because that's all they are. They're a broker. They're operating and trying to use your assets for their gains. You get this in, and basically this signature and authorization notice into the bankruptcy court that they're to file these into their record. Then when you come in with your form SAV 1455 and 1522 and also your SF 1047 for your receipts, they have to process those. They have to broker. They've already been paid out here. We don't have to pay them again because they've been using our assets all along. So they've been paid. They're just trying to get a secondary payment out of you. Most of these brokers really don't fully understand the full process of this. You have a court case. Any court case that has a charge against it. Unless you've caused physical harm, injured somebody, or damage out here in the process. And then if you've caused damage, basically you can still come in to that court case and use a SAV 1455 and set off that bill. You do a 1455 and you put it into the clerk of the court, you've got your files on record, and they write a ticket out to you. You don't even have to go into court. You just give them that 1455, and basically you say, I want this bond, this appearance bond against this traffic ticket settled, and I want my residue from that bond. You'll walk out of that clerk of the court's office with money in your back pocket, just like what one guy said, I like to get traffic tickets. But he didn't tell you you needed to fill out this SAV 1455. That's it. Child support, any of this stuff. Had one guy down South Carolina that basically were taking him into Chapter 13 bankruptcy. I got to thinking about it. I said, hell, just look at that 1455. It either has your Social Security number or it has an EIN number. Well, since we've got our EIN numbers, we can use our individual banker's EIN number. But since he doesn't have his EIN numbers yet, he can use his Social Security number. All numbers in the moving matrix in each one of those columns of green that was going up and down, when you look at it, they were all 9-digit numbers, whether they were made up of numbers or letters, but they were 9 digits, those columns. You can go to the very end of the very first movie Matrix and sort of stop it there at the end, and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. In this matrix that we're operating in this commercial monetary system out here, it is all 9-digit numbers for the most part. Now, some of the New England states up there, basically they're screwed up, so basically they're off on their own tangent, but in a roundabout way, they're still operating under a matrix number. Because like for their marriage certificates and different things like that. Now, you can take any security you have out here into the bankruptcy clerk of the court. You can take most of your state items into your local county court. Put them in there and then address it to the district chief judge or whatever and order those items to be settled. You take these Form 1455s in, and basically if the clerk of the court don't know what the hell to do, you go up to the county prosecutor because he's the county broker, and you demand that he go down there and have that clerk of the court put their seal, their official seal on that 1455 form and process it. He wants to be a broker, a bar member, then he better be a broker. And if he don't fulfill his obligations, he's out of the brokership. That's as simple as you can get. You send all your other stuff up to the bankruptcy clerk of the court in the commercial endeavor. All your receipts, they all go up with the 1047 form. And basically you sign that, and basically you have where you want it sent. I would strongly recommend, after you get some of this going, that you get a United States Department or Department of the Treasury Direct Express debit card. This whole system is basically being controlled by the independent Treasury that was set up in 1920. Now, I've talked to several other people out here that, oh yeah, I've been working at this for 40-some-odd years, and I know all about this. I've gone to court, and I basically beat them in court, and I do all this. Never once have they mentioned anything about these documents. These are our banking documents. The 1099s, all the IRS forms, all those other forms, and the bankruptcy court forms, they're for the commercial world bankers. They're not for us. We don't fill out any bankruptcy forms. So we have to go to the bankruptcy clerk of the court to get this thing processed. You can put a charge in against your Social Security account. You take your, on the 1455, basically you put down Social Security certificate. Okay? Then you put the date that it was issued. How much do you want? Identifying number. The number on the back of the Social Security card. Then you go over to the registration and you list your name and basically put down your Social Security number without the dashes. That's the account number. Identify it as the account number. The Social Security number with the 2 dashes is nothing more than a bank routing number. That's what all these EINs and everything else out here are. They're not employment identification number. They're bank routing numbers, individual bank routing numbers. You just didn't know what they were because you don't know who you are. You need to act like Neil and start standing up to this stuff. You throw these 1455s at them and say, hey, I want this settled. Broker this driver's license. Broker this certificate of title to the vehicle. Broker this certificate of title to the property for my property taxes. You get a tax bill. One guy basically took his tax bill and went over to the bank and deposited it into the bank. Well, the only way he could have deposited it into the bank was to fill out a 1455 and have the bank medallion officer medallionize it, and then he signed over that bill, that property tax bill, and had him deposit into his checking account. Then he turned around and went back up and paid, after he argued with the damn treasurer that he was going to pay these taxes, and paid those taxes. You have basically extra. You want to have some extra funds in your account? Do a draw against your insurance policy at the bank. Put down the FDIC insurance policy. Put down the date you opened the account. Put down $100,000. Put down the account number that basically you open that up under. And then basically you've got it registered right there at the bank with your signature card. Then you get the bank to basically medallionize it. That is partly why the Secret Service, the FBI, and most of these other agencies haven't bothered touching us, because we've been trying to work this process, what I'm talking about right now. We never went against anybody else. We never created anything that we didn't have a right to try and create, but we were missing these forms. But they could not tell us what we were missing. They could have, but they didn't.
Good.
Because in a lot of cases, they really don't know exactly what was totally missing, but they knew that we were missing something. We were missing the brokerage part of it. I get a kick out of basically listening to some of these TalkShoes, basically this last week. All of them again, arguing about driver's license. I mean, come on, people. You've been arguing that goddamn thing about driver's license and this and that for, 40 years now. Terminate the driver's license. Put on the back of your vehicle, not for hire. Get that certificate off your vehicle by doing a 1455. Get the money out of the vehicle. Most all certificates of title have a value on them. You want to make money? I told you this before. But I didn't know that it was just this 1455 form that we needed to do. You go out and buy a used junker for $500. You find out it's got a $35,000 certificate of title to it. You go cash that certificate in for $35,000, you just made $34,500. then you can pay somebody to scrap the thing out, because you can't take a vehicle to a scrapyard whole without a title. That's how the state has tried to regulate so that they get control over those titles. And then they split it up with their damn senators and congressmen and basically everybody that's operating there in the state for their retirement funds, and basically trips down to Cancun and all this good, happy horse shit to keep them bought off. Talk about a bunch of crooks. The government employees, basically, in the legislature and the senates of your state are the biggest bunch of crooks out here, besides the ones in Washington, D.C. And none of them can read the goddamn Constitution. And then people go out there and, well, we need to have a new law passed for term limits. The term limits are already there. It's just that people can't read these damn documents. The clerk of the court is the cashier at the bank or the teller at the bank. You tell them what you want. The treasurer basically is the cashier. The recorder is basically like an account manager for opening up an account. And then basically the prosecuting attorney is basically acting like the CFO. And then the judge is nothing more than the president of that bank. There. Now you got all the bank employees right there in the county courthouse. Of course, then you got the auditor over there on the other side. Basically, they're the record keeper or the record adjusters, and then you got the assayer up there too. And basically, he's the one that's out there trying to write extra charges against your account for overdrafts. So they're all still members of the bank, just like a regular commercial bank. Nothing different, nothing new under the sun. Same thing at the federal level. But this is monitored by the independent Treasury, which is the Bureau of Fiscal Services. All of these commercial bank officers and everything have to comply with the de jure banking laws and the independent Treasury banking laws. You go with your birth certificate with a 1455 over to the federal clerk of the court, because that's going against the de jure Treasury of the country. That's not going against the independent Treasury. But it will still be monitored by the independent Treasury agents that are operating out here. The Philadelphia and the Kansas City Office of Finances, or whatever it was that we were going to, which is a branch of the Bureau of Fiscal Services. You can get a national banking debit card if you request it when you process these things through. Please give me a national banking debit card, preferably like a Direct Express debit card. Treasury, Department of the Treasury, Direct Express debit card. These debit cards are nothing more than like the battery in your cell phone. You take it out and you plug it in and you charge it up. Just like in the movie Matrix. What Neil was showing you at the very beginning about the battery. That's all that these credit cards or these debit cards are. We have to charge them up. We've deposited all our energy into a big storage battery out here. And it's about time we start taking some of our charges, our electrical energy charges, back. It's mind-boggling how many people think that they really know the banking system out here, and they just want to be a damn slave. They don't know that we're really the owners of this country. What is wrong here? How come we're working for them? They're supposed to be working for us. Unplug yourself. You get these 3 documents in. My American Admiralty lien living vessel christening certificate and preferred lien claims, and my perfected American Admiralty lien and life estate deed. You get those certified copies. You do your Form 56. You put those in along, and you submit those in with your green jacket filing as a Admiralty case filing, ordering that chief judge to prosecute those commercial items out of the system. But you get these on file in the system. Now, basically, when I went into the county recorder the other day, Friday, I did got 4 1455s signed, but basically the recorder could only put down her notary seal on those, not the office seal. Well, I didn't think about that until after I got back home, that I should have gone up to the county attorney and had him come down there and order her to put that official seal on these documents. But anyway, I sent them up to the bankruptcy court. Now, if they catch it and they deny the 1455s, they better not deny the 1047s, or else I'll be all over them on that. And that's only about $40,000, but the other one basically is a lot more. But if they deny it, I'll just print out new copies of it, clean copies, and I'll run right up there to the clerk of the court and basically sign them right in front of her in the bankruptcy court and have her put her official seal on it. Then I'll do the same thing, go over to the federal side, take one of my birth certificates with a 1455 and put it down for a couple million. And say, here, now broker fees. This is a custom brokerage house. And basically at the very top, we're the customer. We're the customs agent. We're coming in to claim our customs. So I've given you the remedy on any court case, except unless you go out there and kill somebody, and then you're screwed. You better hope you have a good alibi. But if you've got money now, there should be no reason for you to go out there and be in argument with anybody. Just walk away. You don't get into any of these court actions and argue with them. They will take you down because you don't know how to argue with these guys. They were groomed in 8 years of college of combating, arguing with people in a damn court scenario. How many years have you got in arguing a good case?
Zilch.
Yeah. And then you got shaky knees when you walk into court anyway. scared of your own shadow. So you walk in there with one simple document and say, here, I want this settled. Everybody should be able to handle that one. Say, here, I'm here to settle this matter. I tried to do that with my traffic tickets before, but I didn't have the form with me. Said I needed to settle this. That's the proof. It's right there in that form. Here. You've got a security here. You've got a bond. It says appearance bond. That's a security. This document right here says it's a security transmitting to broker. Let's get this show on the road. It will work. Because it's the right way to go about it. Now, is there anybody out here who has any doubts about this and wants to try and argue? Because I'll come there and kick your ass. Okay, anybody have any questions? This shouldn't be too long a call tonight. You should be able to turn around and make a real simple flow chart of your own up out of this. You've got your 3 EINs. Then you've got the control. But if you don't have your EINs, you can still work using your Social Security number. The problem is you're probably going to have to pay taxes. They will probably send you a tax bill out of a deal, but you turn around and you take that tax bill, and that's another security. You turn around and broker that. Take it up to the cashier at the Social Security office. You get all your receipts. You put them in. You get your money back because basically everything was supposed to be prepaid when they took all the gold and silver away from us back in 1933 and then put us under this Social Security fraudulent system. What the hell does Social Security stand for? Social Security. It's supposed to be for your security.
Yep.
How about let's get some of our securities back? You want to destroy the matrix? What does Neil say at the very end? Mr. Smith, ask him, why, Mr. Anderson, why? Neil says, because I choose to. You have to choose to get off your ass and go out here and do this shit. You sit around like a bump on a log and wait for somebody else to tell you, oh, yeah, I just got $300,000, and then basically they're going to be begging you to find out. When I just told you how to do it yourself. This isn't that hard. I mean, this is simple. KISS. I just give you a big kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
So, Patrick, have you had success with it?
Huh?
With the 1420, have you had success with submitting the 1422s yet? Or the 1455s?
You didn't hear a goddamn thing I just said, did you?
I just got on.
No, I just submitted my 1455s in, and I may have to redo them again because I had the county recorder. She only put her notary seal on them instead of getting the county recorder's official seal on there. But I sent them up to the bankruptcy court, and basically I'm waiting to see. If they don't process it, I'll run right back up there to the bankruptcy court. I'm only 2 hours away, and I'll take my car and park it right out there in the damn parking lot, which is right across from the police station, with no title on the thing, no state title, no license of the state, my license, my car, and I'll park it there, and I'll go in there, and I'll have that clerk of the court sign those. And basically, if they try and mess with my car, I'll get those U.S. Marshals right after them.
Yeah, I think the notary stamp is not sufficient. It's supposed to be like you said, an embossed seal.
Yeah, and see, I should have gone up to the county attorney and basically had him come down and order her to put her official county recorder's embosser on there. But I didn't think about that until yesterday when I was talking to one of the other guys and said, hell, that's what that damn county prosecutor is. He's a broker. He's the one that can issue the medallion stamp out of that courthouse. Because one of the other guys basically took his 2 documents in, those 2 notices for the Admiralty liens and leaving a estate deed in there, and basically the recorder said, well, I have to take these up to the county prosecutor and have him okay them. He got back home and then basically got a call from the recorder and says, hey, you can come back in. He authorized it. She was surprised. Well, basically, I wasn't. I knew he had to authorize them. And see, he's the one that basically, when you call these guys on the carpet, that they have to broker, just like a security, you take a security into a commodity broker house, and they have to broker that. If not, they'll lose their license.
Hello, I got a question when it's time, or when it's my turn.
Go ahead.
So I tried to call in to Philadelphia there, trying to get the 98 foreign Grantor trust number.
Don't ask me. You ask the people on the site, okay?
Okay.
I didn't have to call in on mine. I did mine about 6 years ago, and I used the 3520 and the 3520A because I read the Schedule A or B form, and basically it said, you want a foreign grantor trust EIN? Basically, fill these 2 forms out. Well, I filled it out with my Social Security number. Well, Ogden, Utah went out there, the IRS out there in Ogden, Utah. They went to Philadelphia and got my 98 series number for me. I was one of the first ones to get one. But I was doing it that way. Then basically I got my estate EIN, so don't ask me about the estate EIN using the SS4 either. I tried to give examples of how to do this and how to call them up and talk to them. But there's other people out here, and there's a couple people out here that have helped people go and get their numbers for them. Okay? When I got my estate EIN, I called up Atlanta, Georgia IRS and chewed them out for about a half hour. Finally, one of the department heads turned around and said, okay, I'll take care of this for you. 2 weeks later, I got my estate EIN over my Social Security person, dead Mortmain person, from Cincinnati. When you know what you're talking about, basically they will listen to you. You just don't call up there and then come back. Oh, they didn't give it to me because I don't know what I'm doing. Find out what you're doing before you go there. Talk to somebody. Tom's had calls at different times. There's some calls on the TalkShoe there about getting those numbers. The templates are there. Yeah, I've got a hell of a bunch of documents on that damn site, but basically, one of these days, maybe we'll get there and basically take a bunch of that garbage off. It's not really garbage because it was all a learning process.
Yep.
And we were at this door. We were just doing it through the wrong process. I had a flow chart or a layout about the courts all being a bank, identifying all the offices in the bank back in 2011. But nobody picked up on any of that shit. I was doing the 1455 and the 1522 back in 2010, 2011. But I sent them to Milwaukee. Nobody else looked at these things and basically tried to help study them and put the rest of the process together, saying, hey, we're submitting those to the wrong place. There's a hell of a lot of people out here who just want to sit back and wait for somebody else to tell them what to do. And I'm totally tired of that. You want out of the system, you're going to have to fight. I'm not going to fight for you.
So, Patrick, on that note, I was wondering if you could tell me what to do. I filed my green jacket. I filed it jointly with my wife.
You go back and listen to the beginning of this call. Mm-hmm. You just said you just came in.
No, I didn't. No, that wasn't me. I was on the whole time. This is Bill. I was on from the beginning. My question is I haven't filed the notice of cause of action. I haven't recorded that yet. But should I do that just myself, or should we do a joint one?
You should do one for your wife. If she wants to believe this shit, then she better do it. Okay? If she don't want to be a partner of yours anymore, then basically let her go her own way.
Okay. Well, she's on board. I was just wondering if it was critical that we.
She has to file hers.
Okay, so we have to do two separate ones. And then basically
you've got some dual securities out there, but you're going to have to get these signed with both of you in present, like the marriage certificate.
Okay, so that was my question. Between the both of us, we both do one for the.
Yeah, you could have done one green jacket filing, but into Admiralty. But you have to put these documents also in with that court case.
Right. And
you also have to have one on file at the clerk of the court's office.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, because you're going to, basically, the one that's on file at the clerk of the court's office is your signature and authorization document for the bank transaction of the securities. Just like at a regular bank, you've got to have a signature card on file. If you don't have a signature card on file, you're not going to write a check. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah. See, this is too damn simple, really. That's what gets me about too many people. Basically, they can't handle the simplicity of things. They've got to see a complicated matrix or flow chart that goes all over the damn place, and they can't, in their mind's eye, they can't put a simple little layout down. They claim that basically they know everything about the banking system, that they're doing a commercial bank account, and basically they know everything about their bank account. They have no idea about what goes on in the bank.
Patrick?
Yeah.
The Admiralty lien and the life estate document, you in the part where you're liquidating the Social Security account and Medicare, you use your social security number, but I think you said later that we should change that to the social security account number without the dashes. Is that right?
Take the dashes out. If you look at the latest one that I posted up there, you'll see that it's just 9 X's. There's no dashes in it.
Very good. I'll do that. Then when you're redeeming your baptismal record, you actually have a post-church.
You're not redeeming your baptismal record. You're using your baptismal record as your christening document, that you own your name, that name belongs to you, and that they're using your name fraudulently, and that you have been blessed with all your rights and powers that are guaranteed for the Constitution of this country and by the constitutions of the state.
Yes, but you're using your postmaster, Church of Rome postmaster EIN down there. Should we be getting one of those?
You leave that off for right now, okay, until you get that.
Okay. I've been trying to track down my confirmation. The church seems to have lost the record. So I guess I have to see if I can do that again.
Yeah. It should be on your baptismal certificate.
No, they have no notation there, and I called the actual parish where I was.
Well, unless you got confirmed at a different church.
Yeah,
they all should tie back to your original baptismal church. Because even my marriage license got tied. I got married in New York State, but it got tied back to my church here in Sigourney.
Yeah, that happened for my marriage. It got tied. The Cincinnati marriage got tied to Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, go and talk to them, okay?
Yes, I'm talking with them.
I don't have all the answers.
Okay.
You got to go to the place to where the answers should be.
Right. I'm talking to them. Thank you.
Yeah. But see, the only thing, and see, most churches don't have that, okay? They don't have the communion. They don't have the confirmation. All that those are doing in the Roman Catholic Church were basically the 3 different contracts that you had to go into. The first 7-year contract up until basically you got your first communion. Then you started your second contract. And then at confirmation, you started your third and final contract with the church.
Right.
You were supposed to break free when you turned 21. And that's in the dictionary about the bishops. Whether it's Bouvier's or Ballantyne's, I don't know which one it was, that it talks about that under the bishops. 3 7-year contracts or 21 years. Something along that lines. I've said that before.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm repeating myself. In everything that I've said out here, I've talked about this all at one point or another.
But we're really pulling it together right now. That's good.
Yeah, and it's simple.
Yeah.
3 forms. Everything operates in 3s. 3 EINs. 3 sets of, or 9. 3 sets of 3s. You stand your 9s up. You're upon the water. Now when you get this in, you're walking on the water of commerce. You're standing upright. Your 3 EINs, your 9 digits are standing upright. Now you got 999 above the water. You look down into the water, and what do you see? You see the reflection. You see 666 underneath you. The mark of the beast is underneath you. You're standing on them. You just walk all over them. But people want to make everything so damn complicated and basically think that they know what they're reading out of the Bible, and they have no idea what they're saying, what the Bible's really saying. It's not that complicated. You need to get those in, but basically you can turn around and you can process these items in right now using your Social Security. If you've got a court case, you just go in there. You got a mortgage. You've got a loan at the bank that they're coming after you. You fill out one of these 1455s and you take it in there. They have to broker. If they don't broker, you call up the banking inspector generals. You inform the Bureau of Fiscal Services.
Are they not also obligated to let you know if there's an error on your or a mistake or something? Aren't they obligated to let you know before the time limit's up under the UCC?
Forget that UCC. That's a bunch of garbage. That's only for the commercial corporations. Okay? You forget about arguing anything. You go in there and basically you're going to broker that security. The house is fully paid for after 3 years. You broker that damn security. You already gave them the letters of credit to pay for that house at the very beginning. Same thing with a loan. All you did with your certificate of title to your vehicle is basically you refused to claim the credits for that certificate, and you allowed the state to basically process it over so that they had beneficial ownership of it. You have to come in and claim it back. You're the true owner. That's how simple it is. They did a constructed trust. You were the grantor into this foreign trust. That's why you're called the foreign grantor. And you allowed them to set up a trust contract around your signature, unbeknownst to you of what was going on. So basically that contract that was constructed is a total fraud because you were not given privy information of what that contract really was all about. And that you had the right to come in and terminate that contract at any point in time. See where I'm going with all this shit? It's very simple. It's all about banking. That judge is not a judge unless basically you have caused harm or damage. In other words, they're just a cheap broker at the brokerage house trying to get as much commission off of you as possible because of your stupidity. Listening to some other damn patriot over here like Rod Class or something, well, we're going to go in and we're just going to argue this until basically we beat them into submission. I'm sorry, but they got bigger guns and they will take you down before you take them down. This is the only lawful way you can take them down and stop them dead in their tracks. Take their commissions away from them. They're fraudulent commissions. Okay, anybody have any comments, questions? Ask them now.
Yeah, Patrick, I have a question, Johnny. I'm still catching up with your audios, pretty new here, but can you file or submit the 1455 and the 1522 without having gotten your green jacket?
Yes, you don't need to do the green jacket. Okay?
Okay.
If you have your 3 EINs, basically you can use your individual banker's EIN, on the Form 1455. If you don't have any of your EINs, you can come in and use that same 1455. You just use your Social Security number.
Okay.
See, anybody out here right now can take this into court and basically like a traffic ticket or basically child support or anything like that. Put down the security and basically hand it to the prosecutor and say, take care of this. I want the residue. Mortgage. If they've got you in a court action, you hand this over to the prosecutor and you say, hey, here, property tax. Same thing there. They refuse to take these 1455s and the 1522s in their system, and basically you will get in touch with the independent Treasury out here, the Bureau of Fiscal Services, and basically the banking inspectors and the FBI, because now they're committing banking fraud. Fraud of securities, or security fraud, however you want to look at it. But don't leave out the Social Security Inspector General either, because he's a banking inspector general also. You've got the enforcement now. You're the customer, and the customer, the old saying is, the customer is always right. These suits do not have control over us. Mr. Smith does not have control over Neil. Neil took him down. And that's what we're going to do to these suits too, these brokers. Everything that has a beginning has an end. The very last statement out of Mr. Smith in the movie Matrix. Well, basically this commercial banking system had a beginning, and right now it's at its very end, and we can destroy it.
Yep. You mentioned any kind of security. I've got a hold of some historical bonds that the banks just won't touch.
I'm not going to touch those. You handle those on your own, okay?
Okay.
Those type, basically, you look up on the 1455 and you go to the very back. If they're bonds or if they're triple E's or something like that, you might have to take those up to Milwaukee or to Minnesota.
Okay, I'll look at that.
Okay. Forget about the peanut stuff. Try and get the big shit that's really causing you damage.
Right.
Okay. To get some funds out, and then basically you can basically hire somebody to go check this out for you.
Okay.
Yeah, Patrick, I have another question.
Okay.
To get because we called the commissioner to get that approval from the state to be recognized as an individual banker. Do we need to call the IRS commissioner and the Secretary of State, or just one?
To go what? The individual banker's EIN?
No, not the individual banker. Got that already. I'm saying to get the state to approve or to recognize the individual banker, that the EIN.
No, that's a private number. Your private bank ain't going to be under state control. You don't go to them.
Right, I understand that. I got that.
Okay, then you understand it. That's private. The state has no jurisdiction over a private bank. You don't ask them for shit. You tell them. Stop thinking that the state has control over your life. They were just a bank out here. They were supposed to provide protections for us, but not controls over us. Only a religion basically puts moral controls over you. And that's why all these codes of law are religious moral codes put in there by all the females that they got to vote for this damn shit. Mrs. Goodbody's out here putting moral turpitudes in place. Oh, we got to protect our little children here. We've already got protection for the little children. Just enforce what basically is right and wrong, and that's it. You find a guy that's beating up